This is Diane, host of the local show, sitting across from three members of Motion City Soundtrack, Minneapolis legends, and I'm so excited to be sitting across from you during a pivotal time in your lives. Your seventh studio album releasing, first in 10 years, Same Old Wasted Wonderful World. How are y'all feeling today? Good to have you guys.
Feeling excited.
I always get nervous whenever I come to something local that I really like whether it's here, whether it's First Avenue playing a show. Like, I don't know.
I think you're always nervous.
Well, yeah, there's that too, but there's an added level of nervousness. I always feel like I'm in chaos mode. So I'm glad that we have two people here in the interview that can keep it on track.
I think I'm oddly not nervous for the first time for album release.
Does that equal each other? Do we equal each other?
I hope so.
Okay.
I don't have room for more nervousness. I'm keeping it calm.
Do you feel like music kind of puts you once you start playing, that's where you're like, all of a sudden you're in the zone? No?
I think,
Not for me, but I think for these guys. Maybe.
I mean,
for me, on stage, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that's like you're in control, you're in your space, you're doing your thing, and it's kind of like an hour passes, and you're like, whoa, that's done. We did that. It's kind of crazy.
I think Jesse joining the band is what allowed me to enjoy playing shows, because he was such a wild man and looked like he could just let it all go. Like whatever version of Jesse was off stage, on stage was a different version, and it allowed you to just like get into it.
Oh my God.
I don't think without that, I don't know if I would still probably be the nervous guy leaning against the wall that doesn't know. And, other than, wanting to play well, that's the only downside of the shows. Sometimes you have to be like, but no, for me, they're fun. Playing's great. Making music's great. It is stressful and it's a lot of work, but gosh, it's excellent.
My favorite part is the idea stage. I really like coming up with ideas, and oh my God, I sound like David Lynch.
He's not great at his execution. Is
no,
bad.
yeah, execution. It's just too many options,
R.I.P.
too many ideas.
Yeah,
but
he's awesome,
yeah, I like the writing, and I like sitting in a cold, dark room trying to figure out how to figure out the puzzle of creating lyrics that make sense to me.
Right.
That's
While
like my
everything's
favorite thing.
kind of going up and above your head, and then you just kind of have to reach down and find the ones that come together and work.
And sometimes it just happens, and sometimes it takes years.
Isn't that wild, though, to come back from 10 years of not releasing an album, and now you are? How do you feel like you got to that point?
Brute force.
Josh just dragged me along.
A bit of brute force. I mean, we kept talking about making a new album for a while, back and forth. Didn't know we wanted to do it. We had a lot of ideas, and we're creative people that have constantly making up stuff and then not doing it for a month, and then all of a sudden making a few songs. But we were just like, it took a point where I realized that, oh wait, we don't really have like a management team like we used to, and we're not like doing it. I was like, I have to actually do it like the first record. I have to just start scheduling it and make it happen. And so that's kind of where it started. We were like, let's go.
And I think timing too, it's like, I know I was like very excited to write 10 years ago. And then I just, for the last 5 years, I was kind of dealing with some other stuff, in the physical, mental realm. And so that stuff got kind of, I can only focus on one thing at a time. So It's great that I have people that can it sucks. They're basically my handlers at this point, but I love doing it. I just need to be put in front of a place where I can do it. And then I'm like, oh, I remember music or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
I think a lot of, just at this point of doing it for so long, we all have this point where you have to be reminded of how awesome it is. Because even, there was people, members of our band that were not super stoked on the idea of making a new album when we were talking about it. Mm-hmm. But, there's a reality that we need to do it if we want to continue to have this be our job. Even if nobody likes it, you have to put out music to keep touring. You don't necessarily have to get big off it. But if you just kind of, there's no way to make it work otherwise. But I think what I've learned with my band is if people are hesitant, if you just kind of force them into it a little bit, not just get them, even if people are telling me that they don't like this or Justin's saying, I can't finish, I just have to, I know that those feelings are temporary and they feel big to these people in those moments, but they can get to the other side of them and then be really happy with what they're doing and why they're doing it. And so it's a tough game to be making people do things that you feel like they're telling you they don't want to do, and you're like, you're gonna be happy you did. And
Josh-
it's really weird.
Absolutely.
Josh
It's
is
a
really-
weird game in our band sometimes.
He's really good at big picture stuff, and the only thing I tend to care about is if what I'm doing, I like what I'm doing within that, and it probably sounds weird, but like I can only focus on one thing at a time, and especially when in your outside of music life, trying to learn how to not be anxious all the time. And then only knowing how to do things like once there's a deadline or stress, it's like you're constantly combating two different versions of yourself. And that it's like I'm almost there.
It's almost like we had a lot of material to write an album about.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Well, yeah, I want
Holy
to
crap.
comment that you mentioned, like, you just put out albums to like continue the job to be able to keep touring, and I'm like,
Well,
this is a fantastic album.
Thank you.
Like the singles that y'all have already released, what I'm hearing is so good, and it does feel like the roots, and it feels so nostalgic to listen to these songs. Tell me about like coming into that sound. I mean, She Is Afraid, that's such a great single. Like, even talk to me about that one.
Josh's guitar part was like the first thing, and it was so like, I don't know, I just loved it, and I kept saying, I want to do something with that. That is a song. And not like I had anything to do with it, but his guitar part was just so exciting to me. And oftentimes I think we do that. Somebody has a part.
Yeah.
And if it excites us, like we just kind of follow that wherever it goes.
yeah, it was a long road too, that one. That one was, I didn't let it just happen. Like sometimes we have a great part and we're like so excited about it, and we may not be getting the rest of the song right, but we just finish the song, because we love that thing. And that one I think didn't happen like that. Kind of, we went a lot of different directions and then realized that the original just kind of more, not complicating it, because the original idea was, you were like, that chorus is kind of not a lot of, but then in the end it was like, musically it was like kind of just simple, and so we were trying to go crazy, and it was like, no,
Josh
let's
is
just
a
go
good
back
editor.
to the vibe we were having, but
I think you were a good editor because I think I went through many different iterations of the verses, and then I tried to do different choruses every time.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where you were like, no, just do the first one.
we had one really good chorus. The other ones
Yeah.
were okay, and I was like, why
Yeah.
don't you just do that good chorus lyrics? I mean,
It's
sometimes
okay, it's
great
okay to
change it
repeat
all.
the chorus, right? The
stuff-
same,
yeah.
have the same chorus.
Generally, how songs are.
Not John K. Samson.
Well, even us, we do that a lot too. But sometimes it's okay, and sometimes it's the right thing. It's just finding the right way of doing it. But, it's really freeing to make an album where nothing's on the line.
There's no
right?
expectation.
Well, there's expectations of my own that I
Yeah.
want to make something great, but I wasn't. Different records we release at different times. My personal approach, has sometimes been skewed by like, oh, we're successful. Now we need to make an album that we can continue success with. And so we start worrying about, or we've been playing on tour and it's been hard to sing these songs. Let's write an album where I don't have to sing as hard. These kind of decisions nothing's wrong with the albums we've made, but they do get in the way with what you could and what songs you might put on an album, where this one was like, no, I want to capture what we were, but as good as we are now.
Yep.
And I think, and so did Sean O'Keefe, the guy who produced the record, who we started talking to well before we started recording. And it was kind of like, he helped me pick the songs, really point out things in what we've done as a band. Like, where's this kind of keyboard part? Why'd you stop doing this guitar stuff? Who wrote this song? Like those kind of questions from back in our past, like his favorite stuff, because he's a big fan. And that really kind of shaped us being able to kind of like create something that had a lot of stuff that really spoke to people that I trust, that know our band from a fan standpoint, and not my own skewed version of what that is. I don't know.
I just want to check in and make sure that Jesse has time to talk because Josh and I tend to steamroll.
Well, we have a guy.
Well, I have a kind of a question. Well, the thing I wanted to bring up. Well, Jesse, you're the Moog player, and my first experience with Motion City Soundtrack was in 2004. I saw the lineup for Dashboard Confessional and the Get Up Kids, And I hadn't heard of Motion City Soundtrack yet, but I was like, oh my gosh, I especially need to go see the Get Up Kids. Like, I was obsessed with that their records. And so I walk in and immediately I was like, whoa, this band's energy. And the big thing that stuck out to me was the Moog synthesizer, because it felt so novel in this style of music. Tell me about carving a space for something like that instrument.
Well, let's not forget that the Get Up Kids also had keyboards.
Wait, you're right.
Yeah, James Dewey's played keyboards for them.
Oh my gosh. You're exactly right.
So they helped carve the way for us.
Definitely. I mean, they're a band that we liked a lot too. I mean, they had similar influences as us, but they definitely, the second record has the same MG1 on it.
Yeah,
And we recorded with, the
so
first record we
right.
did with Ed Rose.
Yep, we recorded it at the Get Up Kids studio
Yeah.
in Eudora, Kansas.
But what I liked about Jesse
Yep.
in our version of this is that he was also like up in front and in people's face.
Technically, we were in Minneapolis when maybe the first time I met Justin, and you said you liked me to be in the band because I had the red Velcro shoes. It wasn't even
Insane.
That was important.
I'm glad that my weirdness helped make that happen.
Because we had added keyboards and we were messing around with it before we had a keyboard player. Justin used to play as well.
And you.
And keyboard. No, I mean, say up on stage, he would play guitar and
switch.
keyboard. Like a song like My Favorite Accent, he would play the keyboard part and not guitar, and then go back to guitar for other parts.
Yeah.
So we wanted to add the keyboard player, and I worked with Jesse at Pizza Luce, and he had a great band that he was like a punk rock thing where he was insane on stage playing bass.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want you. You want to join a band? Like, we need someone that's gonna go for it.
and I was like,
That isn't
Sure.
looking at his shoes all the time.
He's like, I don't know how to play keyboard. I was like, we don't either. We'll teach you what we know.
Wow, that's crazy. Because it is such an integral part of your sound. You think about like Everything Is All Right and The Future Freaks Me Out. Like those are two big iconic songs, and the keyboard part is such a big element of it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm wrecking my brain. And I'm like, yes, something to write home about with the Get Up Kids. You're so right that it's loaded with keyboards. How did I?
Can we give a
Well,
shout out? Can we
Sorry,
give a shout out to Matt Sharp and the Rentals? Because that's Josh introduced me to that band, and that's where
I literally went out
Oh, yeah.
after that record came out, and I was just like, because I was kind of like anti keyboards growing up. Like,
Yeah.
I was like a pure, I don't. It's got to analog everything, and I didn't really know about synthesizers, really understand them. And then the Rentals happened, and I was like, this is the coolest thing. And there was a old music store in Uptown. And I went in there and traded one of my basses for the MG1, and I had no idea how to play it for years. It would just make noise on top of my bass amp. But
By the way, we have 3 bassists in our band, which is insane.
I think at this point,
Yeah, well, no, I'm just saying at the time, yeah.
Interesting.
But I also, I'm sorry, I'm just full of stupid things, but like tracing the trajectory backwards from us to being influenced by the Rentals, and I'm assuming he was influenced by Gary Newman, right, to some degree. I thought I read that or heard that, but I don't know. I just like that stuff.
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Okay, sorry, back to the interview.
yeah. I don't know.
the interview.
Okay,
Well, okay.
that's cool.
Particle Physics, that song in particular has a really amazing Moog keyboard line. Also, y'all have been bringing in special guests, including Patrick Stump.
He actually wrote that keyboard part.
That's incredible.
That intro one you're talking about.
Yeah. Tell me about like the intro. It seems like y'all are such a band because you're very much right off of each other. You're very much working. You're constantly in communication with each other of how to like bounce off ideas, and then you've toured the world playing with all the greatest emo, pop punk, alternative rock bands for over. Y'all have been almost a band for 30 years. This is insane.
Yeah.
I'm going off on tangents here, but
Oh, please do.
yeah,
we're made of tangents.
We're made of tangents.
we're all alike.
That's our next album.
Also, I want to use that quote. Y'all are such a band. Like, that is amazing.
Well, I mean, as far as that Patrick Stump and the
big time.
particle physics thing, like we've never written with anybody else for any of our music in our band.
Isn't that something?
Like, and it was kind of anti.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of a strange thing. We'd asked him to help us because we have this. There's a long story short is we sometimes write songs and write a part and it's like amazing verse.
Yeah.
So catchy. It's awesome.
I can write a verse,
And he
can't
can
write a
chorus,
chorus.
but sometimes when that song, sometimes he can't get there with the next part, right?
It's like it goes
we never-
verses up here and then
Yeah, we
choruses
can never
down
figure it out, and they're okay, and the songs are fine. It just,
Yep.
we felt like there's always a misboat. And with this record, there was a lot of load on Justin to finish a lot of stuff because he was in and out of whatever we were doing and timing of things. And I was like, well, there's a song I love, and he's not working on it. He's got other things he's working on. I wanted to see, and Patrick had talked to Sean because they're good friends. They made records together, and he basically was like, Patrick really wants to do stuff, and I was like, oh, I'll reach out to him and send him some stuff that we, see if he wants to like write choruses for these songs, that see if it does anything for him. So he sent him some stuff for that, which he was working on and sending it back. But then he just randomly was like, hey, I've been humming this idea in my head that feels like a Motion City idea, and so I just recorded it. Here it is. I'm not a lyricist, and it's like,
Oh my God.
first time I heard it, I'm like, oh, it's great.
He wrote the chorus. I maybe changed a few words here and there, but
Wow.
But yeah, and then I had to come up with some ridiculous verses, which aren't really. I don't know. Josh helped me with that too, because
That was a long road. It
I
was
went
tough.
through so many iterations of that until we found the right balance of stupid, funny, and serious.
What I loved about the thing that Patrick sent to us was that it sounded like something Justin would have written when he was 23. And now Justin's much more, even his sense of humor and goofiness is different than it was then. And this felt like, Patrick, who's a fan of those first couple albums, was able to capture like the kind of right level of dorky lyrics that we sing that still are great, and also get the message across in a great way. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was like just that opening thing and then the chorus, and that's all it was. And I was like, I'm flabbergasted.
It's a weird thing too, because I couldn't wrap my head around it. And I think part of it is like, I have a hard time doing anything that I didn't come up with, because I feel like I have to emulate something that isn't, Anyway, it just takes me a long time. But after doing it and after hearing it in the context of everything, it's like I got it after we had recorded it. And then I was like, oh, this is brilliant.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I also wanted to just add, as we were talking about that, I do feel like there's a connection between, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent, just letting you know, but there's a lot of amazing young bands that sound like the music I've been trying to write my entire life, like just being obsessed with these bands in the 90s. And I think it's because they didn't grow up during the time. They have a different perspective of it. And I think the same thing can be said about Patrick, not being us, but being a fan of us, being able to like tap into something that I'm not even able to. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's really cool. And also, we're the same person, and we both think the other doesn't like us very much, but we've sort of rediscovered that, oh no, we actually do like each other. Or no, yes. And I have a friend named Andy Young, who's an editor, and he worked with Patrick, and he kind of reconnected us in terms of friendship and being able to talk again.
Wow.
But yeah.
Wow.
There was nothing wrong with friendship. They're just people like, Justin's a guy that
I forget that people exist. And then
anybody.
Well, naturally, you meet a lot of people. And
even me.
Like,
I forget to call people and
Like for months.
It happens.
He just disappears.
Oh my God.
I just live in a cold, dark room.
Unless he needs something.
Or I have a project.
Great relationship.
No, not like that. It's more like, hey, I've got this crazy idea for a film or like a band. Let's do a 3-piece band that's like shellac. And Josh is like, yeah, let's write a record instead. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
Too many ideas.
Josh is kind of like Spider-Man in the band, and he's constantly slinging his web to get everybody back and organized and focused. He's the driving
also
force.
Trying not to make everybody just super mad at me.
No, but I think
there's really, I think there's an old
finding
me,
the
the younger me did that and just was like, rah, and like didn't realize I was, people weren't realizing what I was doing, and it was coming across like a different way. But now I'm much more conscious of it. But also, sometimes you just have to make things happen with a little brute force.
Can I say it in a different way?
Sure.
I think when younger Josh felt very aggro and like sort of like
I didn't.
demanding. No. I mean like to us.
Yeah.
And what I love about current Josh is that he's just so excited and like happy and like I don't know if happy is the right word, but like nurturing.
Oh.
And sort of like, hey guys, this is fun. Like remember?
Aw.
And I do think that even the break in 2016, like we all kind of scattered and had to find jobs and do things, and that has been also a little bit of a harder, finding the right times when we can all get together and do stuff as well. I'm not talking about myself as much. I've just been in, lots of therapy.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to be in a band in our position. Putting a new record out is amplifying the amount of work we do.
Yep.
And it's gonna feel a little hard. I mean,
Naturally,
he's got this awesome game stores in Jersey that he's opened up that he runs.
What amazing.
And like board games. It's cool, called the Player Agency. It's not anywhere near here. You can open up
soon. No,
But
I
you
don't know.
can fly to New Jersey, right?
Yeah, you fly to New Jersey. But yeah, so he's fitting time between like having to cover all the shifts there and fly out for tour, and everybody's got their own things. I kind of it's just we're making it happen, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, I got to ask because this recently happened, and I felt like it was kind of iconic. Y'all, you got sick, and Minnesota Yacht Club Fest happened, and you pulled it off with special guest singers, including Patrick Stump, and including Bear and members of the Gully Boys. Am I missing anyone else? Because that is so cool.
The other singer. Did we get them all?
Yeah, Gully Boys, which is Naughty.
Naughty.
Oh, Bear, and then Patrick.
Patrick,
Yeah.
They did and Kathy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're both from Gully Boys.
Yeah,
Yep.
You said Gully. Well,
The boys. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was
destroyed it.
it was a very
I love the Gully
stressful
Boys,
week because we were kind of waiting to see if he get better. He told us like I'm really can't breathe and I'm coughing a lot. I'm worried about my voice. But we still had like 6 days, so it was like okay, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
The guys got into town. We started rehearsing without him because he couldn't sing, and then it just progressively. Once it was like, oh, I'm going to the ER today on the
Like
the
I
day
couldn't
before.
breathe.
I had mentioned to Patrick that we were in trouble and we might need some help, even if Justin showed up. But then I had to send Patrick a text and be like, hey, how do you feel about singing like 6 to 8 songs? Like, we're kind of going to have to cancel. And I don't want to put that on you. Totally say no if you don't want to. And he was he actually, I was like, he came in the day before because that's when he was flying in. And he came to our little crappy practice place.
Wow.
Practice space. Let me learn to speak again. But yeah, Bear, like our friend Brad from Now, they used to live together. And
I love Now.
I was like, Jesse talks to Brad through stuff, and I was like, can you reach out and see if Bear would be interested in doing it? Because I mean, I've talked to Bear, but I was like, I don't know them, and I was like, because I like Bear a lot. It's an awesome artist, and I guess she was sitting on the couch next to him. It was like, yeah, and then she came down. I was just like scrambling to learn the songs. She's like, I know you guys, but we're like, you're gonna sing Last Night, which is like, well, I don't really know that song. Okay, we'll figure this
But
out.
she can figure it out.
She
She's a pro. Yeah.
nailed it.
Yeah.
Like just walked in pro. It was great.
Had it.
Yeah.
Had it. Yeah. Very pro singer. Like definitely can.
Agreed.
And Naughty, I'd ask Kathy if she want. I mean, I know Naughty sings, but I wasn't gonna be like, hey, you want to take over a show? And
Did Naughty pick that song?
yeah, Naughty was like, can I sing? Because My Favorite Accident is my favorite song and my top Spotify listen last year. Like the song.
So she really knows it. Yeah.
Wait, no. What
Marry
was
Without Sound.
Marry Without Sound? Yeah.
Is that what I said?
You said My Favorite Accident, but you know
I?
what? It's okay.
Just say Marry Without Sound again, and they'll edit it in.
There we go.
There we go.
Marry Without Sound.
Sorry, it's not My Favorite Accident. Patrick did that one.
And they've been on tour with y'all, so
Yeah.
of course they're going to know your songs really well.
And they're
So-
they're my favorite local band. They're amazing. So good. They
They
got
shot a new music
song
video
out.
and they're dancing
Yeah.
around in it too. So when that comes
Yeah.
out for Particle Physics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They had
little
me.
chaos.
They had me in one of their videos, and I can't act, but it was really fun. It was super fun, and I got to bring my daughter along, and yeah, they got along famously. Okay, tangent again.
Oh
But
yeah, that's
Gully
great.
Boys
This
for
is
life.
great. Yeah. Well, I have to ask because, I mean, y'all definitely will forever be a part of the zeitgeist. What word do I want of the pop punk and emo movement, which is just so massive when it comes to bands like Blink-182, Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, and then even some of those earlier bands, like I mentioned, like the Get Up Kids or Sunny Day Real Estate. Like y'all weren't, you were influenced by like the Pixies and Superchunk and Radiohead, but like, when you really came into it, this was like such a huge movement. Can you speak a little bit to that?
It was very lucky of us to stumble into this. I mean, we were just making the music we made
Yeah.
in our little practice space, and then we were like, we should try to write stuff really poppy, and then we just kind of stumbled. Like, that was the trick. We were like,
we had 7-minute long songs.
we had these really like weird, very emo, so like more Sunny Day Real Estate leaning, like more angular.
And Josh and I were like singing back and forth too for a while, and then
And then I remember my brother had said something to me. My brother who passed away recently, but he named our band as well, and just by random named the first album by making fun of Justin as well, because I was like, actually that was a joke, but I am going to use that. And then, but he had said something to me after listening to our songs and going to see us. He's like, once you do something once, we heard it. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting thought. And then, because I was like, I've never thought of like that.
he had no filter.
Yeah,
like,
no, he doesn't. No.
So good.
We were making a record with Rico Kasich, and he showed up one day, and he did the thing where, the thing in the elevator that on SNL when people used to sing songs that like sing their own songs in the thing.
Yeah.
We had this a song we were talking about we wanted to sing, and Rick was like, nah, that's not cool or whatever. And my brother, who listened to the Cars and stuff a bunch, was like, we didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he just started singing a Cars song to Rick in the room out of nowhere. And we were all like, and then he got to the part where they did the literal thing we were talking about doing.
And
he's
Rick
like,
wasn't into it. But
then he was like, but he's like, you did it on your record. He was doing it to poke, to needle him, which we didn't know where it was going. But yeah, anyways, that was a tangent. Wow.
That was a good tangent, though.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
But then you just started writing really amazing songs, and here you are now.
Thank you. Yeah, editing. We
30.
learned how to edit.
Learn how to edit.
And then Mark Hoppus learned us how to, taught us how to lessen our editing, and that's how we kind of
breathe.
It's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay not to sing all the time.
Where the first album was like, nope, we're going to make sure like it's just like either it's a lead part happening or singing, and we're just ramming through the songs.
But I do think that Ed Rose helped, in a sense, form us as a band and make us be like, you guys can be good. Like, don't be, I know you want to be sloppy and punk, but we went in when we did that record and he was like, make it good.
Yeah.
And like, I think it changed us a little mentally of like, oh, we could be like this record sounds cool. And that we could be a good band. I think Ed really was kind of a springboard for that.
Wow.
Didn't he say something of like, do you guys want to be like a sloppy punk rock crappy band?
No, he asked us the question was like, do you want this record to be able to play on the radio, or do you want to just record a record? Basically, call it sloppy punk band or whatever. He didn't say those words, but he asked us and was like, I think we'd like to play it on the radio. And then he put us through band boot camp. Basically, like me as a guitar player, I wasn't prepared for the level of recording that I needed to do at that point, because I was just a guy who played. I mean, I think he quoted that it sounded like I was playing guitar with oven mitts on my hands. It was really mean. He's kind of a mean guy, but also not a mean guy.
I mean, it's funny now. I think, didn't he refer to me as Princess?
Yes.
Yeah, it was like...
Called me Hard Charge. Because I was always ahead of Steve.
Oh, man.
But no, he definitely... He taught... Because the band that left here to go make that record, when I came back and I was where I worked at Twin Town, and we put the record on, and even I had an old friend who was in other bands that we played with that were our friends, and he was like... I found out later, he told me that when he heard the record, he was like, what? Can I swear in here? Is that
Was
okay?
this I Am the Movie? This was to
Can I
clarify.
swear in here? He goes, Motion shitty soundtrack made a good record? Yeah. But he meant it in a good way. He actually has like our band songs tattooed on him now. So he just weirdly
amazing
a friend
advice.
of mine.
Yeah.
What happened here? But.
Well, that's the thing is like, oh my gosh. Well, once you really nail down and you just clean up the parts and just, your guys' sound was like mind blowing.
I wanted to say this earlier, and I'm sorry, it's not going to make any sense in the context of what we're talking about now, but I do want to give a shout out to Bill McShane from Ultimate Fake Book. He really had a huge effect on me singing in like the head voice range and like getting pretty instead of trying to scream through it,
They're also the people that told us that we had to absolutely drop everything and go work with Ed. Because we tried to make the record prior and it wasn't going well, and I was lamenting to them after we played a show at the Triple Rock, and he was like, spend the money, go make the record with Ed. He is going to make your guys' record. Because he's like, Bill's like, I can hear what you should sound like and what your songs are so great. Go to him. And we did. And that really, we wouldn't be here today if we hadn't done that.
They had a huge effect on us.
Cool.
But sorry to cut you off mid statement you were saying.
Oh, yeah. No, all good. This is great. Well, this has been an amazing interview. And what else, to kind of bring it back to Same Old Wasted Wonderful World, present day, Motion City soundtrack, anything you'd like to add in particular about this new record and about what you guys have coming up on tour? I know you have a 7th Street entry. This is going to air after that, but I don't know. Yeah.
I think that just in terms of the record and the content of the record, I feel like, having 10 years worth of living between the last record we did and this one has a lot of horrible stuff has happened and a lot of wonderful stuff has happened. And just being able to have different things to write about instead of variations on a theme. Because I think I spent a lot of time being confused. And I think all of us to some degree, we've had some, wonderfully hard struggles to deal with. And there's been a lot of loss in people's lives as of late too. And from what I hear, grief ebbs and flows over time, but there's still joy to be had.
Yeah, it's a strange. The title really spoke to me. We wrote the song. He said those words, and I think that it really summed up the way it is. Like, losing people in your life sucks, but I still get to live my life and be with my daughter and my wife. But it's like it's still great, but I don't know. We're still here.
Yay!
I will say. Having made obviously multiple, this is our 7th record, right?
I think so.
I'm usually at some point a thorn in the band's side of like, this song shouldn't be on a record, or the record's too long, or I don't like. I've always kind of been that one.
I value this in him.
I never get my way, but
that's not true.
As a compliment, this is probably the first record we've made that I don't feel like anything should or could be cut, and that it actually fits perfully there.
Yeah, it edited itself in the best type of way, and I didn't feel like we missed the boat on any song. And like I said, that's one of the greatest things about Jesse's role while making a record. A lot of times, he's such a. I'm a music fan, but I listen to it a certain way. He has a different thing, and sometimes it's really helpful to hear him be like, "Oh, I like," or sometimes it's like, "I love something," and other people are trying to get away from it. And Jesse's like, "No, that I like that." And it's just, I think he's a valuable kind of different opinion than the rest of us that aren't the same. Like, we are always fighting about these things, and then he can come in and have like an overview of something in a different way.
I just want to add too that like Jesse's I can't say aesthetic.
Aesthetic?
Yeah, aesthetic. Like I don't know, obviously you're hearing this, but like he is so well put together, and I feel like everything in his life, if you would agree, well, I'm just saying like stylistically, the way you look at music, the way you know things, and then you're on one side of it, and then I'm this guy who's wearing clothes that are not ironed and frazzled and confused, and I feel like, and then everybody else is somewhere in between, and there's something about that works for the 5 of us.
Amazing. It's like
We're like bookends of chaos.
Bookends of Chaos.
Yeah, kind of.
Great band name.
absolutely.
Okay, you're in the band.
Okay.
You're in the
need more
band.
members,
I don't
yeah.
know about you two, but
All right, let's start a band.
Bookends of
Calm
Chaos.
down.
He tries to
I know how
start
to
a band
rap,
with everybody he
so-
meets.
Bookends
be
of
box.
Chaos.
It's
Sorry,
always-
I've got it. Bookends of Chaos, and y'all are, what was the quote? Y'all are a band.
Y'all are a band.
Yeah, y'all are a
Yeah,
band.
y'all are a band.
I like y'all too. I feel like more people need to say it.
I think it's very gender inclusive in these days. So
There you
It's a
go.
good one. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I use y'all a lot, which is weird.
Although yins, I don't know how to use that. Y'all and yin, I heard it was a Southern thing.
yeah,
Yins
I
is
haven't
a
adopted that one.
Pittsburgh thing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I probably won't say that.
And I don't believe it's a positive.
Yeah, it sounds weird to me. I don't know.
Oh, my bad. I apologize if that was offensive.
It's hard.
Motion City Soundtrack. Y'all are amazing. So happy to have y'all as our October Artist of the Month.
Oh, that's
representing
Oh, dang.
Minnesota on the local show. Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.